And number 3, Tyler, this is the one. This is the one that I wish somebody would grab my face when I was a sophomore in college, shook it, and talked to me about this exact section. And that's called shifting your identity. He says, the more you let a single belief define you, the less capable you are of adapting when life challenges you. If you tie everything up in being the point guard or the partner of a firm or whatever else, then the loss of that facet of your life will wreck you. When you cling too tightly to one identity, you become brittle. Lose that one thing and you lose yourself. When you spend your whole life defining yourself in one way and that disappears, who are you now? The key to mitigating these losses of identity is to refine yourself such that you get to keep important aspects of your identity even if your particular role changes. I'm an athlete becomes I'm the type of person who is mentally tough and loves a physical challenge. I'm a great soldier transforms into I'm the type of person who is disciplined, reliable, and great on a team. I'm the CEO translates to I'm the type of person who builds and creates things. When chosen effectively, an identity can be flexible rather than brittle. Like water flowing around an obstacle, your identity works with the changing circumstances rather than against them. Like I said, if there is, these 2 pages of this 300-page book couldn't have spoken to me more than what he said right there. Yeah. Because that is, most athletes can relate to that. Most former athletes can relate to that. We get so caught up in the thought of this is who I am, this is what I do, that when it's over, because the air gets let out of the ball for everybody, you don't know what to do anymore. Yeah. Because you've seen yourself as a player for so long, that's all you've ever wanted to do, that it's hard to then shift to something else. So I love that he says, shifting your mentality to I'm an athlete, right? That's what I am. No. Maybe you say, I'm the type of person who is mentally tough and loves a physical challenge.
Yeah. So one thing that I've learned, because you're right, I was an athlete. I struggled with the identity shift. I really struggled with it. I prepared myself for it. I called it out. I acted like I was okay, but I struggled with it. But here's the other thing too: is it's not just athletes, it's not just veterans, it's not just first responders. It's mom. Think about moms. Yeah. Like, for example, my wife, she went through something called the Sparrow Conference. There's a lady named Rachel out in the Dallas area that we are going to get on the show, and it's incredible. And what she does is she takes you through this identity training and creates your own personal mission statement. And what's important about it is when you are shifting your identity from, hey, I'm a CEO, I'm an athlete, I'm a mom, I'm a whatever it may be, is you shift your identity into something that cannot be taken away, something that is eternal. Mm-hmm. So I'm a follower of Christ. Nobody can ever take that away from me. Yep. Right? Or, hey, I am an empathetic, I am a servant, I am a motivator, I am whatever it may be. And so, like, she went through this with Tiffany, and it shook her. And this specific deal is you walk through your entire story to build this mission statement, because every life experience that you have creates some form of your identity and who you are. And if you can say it and you can verbally say, okay, hey, this is who I am, and all of those pieces and all those descriptive words that you use to describe your identity are things that nobody can take away from you. Nobody can take away from you that I love those that are hard to love. Mm-hmm. Like, nobody can take that away. If you commit to like loving on people that a lot of people hate, despise, whatever, or nobody can take away that I am going to serve those in need, or I'm going to protect those that face injustice, or whatever it may be. Those are things that nobody can tangibly take away from you. I could take away you being an athlete. I could blow out your knee. I could take away your CEO job when the company gets bought and you get fired because a private equity company has their other CEO. I could take away your job as a police officer. I could take away your job as a teacher. But I hate to say it, it's dark, but I can take away you being a mom in a heartbeat. And there's mothers all across the globe that are now not mothers. Mm-hmm. because they've lost their kids. Yeah. So again, when you choose the identity, choose something that nobody can take away and is something that is going to last.
Yeah, I think I've mentioned this before, but when I was done playing ball, you know, an injury was what's easy to say that took my career from me. It wasn't really that, right? It was more of a talent thing, and right, just not the right time, not the right place. But I can remember my first few years, because I was so wrapped up. I had it all figured out, right? I was going to the pros. There was no doubt about it. That was what I was going to do. That's who I was going to be. So I was so wrapped up in that identity that the first few years after I was done playing, I mean, ask my wife, the marriage was rough because I was so in such a, not depressed, but I was in just such a funk from this life that I thought I should be living that I didn't get to live out. And so if somebody had told me, now I probably wouldn't have listened, but if somehow I could have just grasped that concept of, dude, your identity is that you love to work hard, right? You're obsessive and you go after things that you want. That's your identity. Yeah. It's not that you're the tight end for whatever pro team. Yeah. Right. Your identity is that you can be counted on. You're a good team player. You love to be a part of a team. If I had put my identity into those things, the transition would have been much easier. It still would have been hard because I couldn't just completely shut that off. But if I had been warming myself up to that over the years of thinking, no, these are skills that are going to translate, whether I'm a football player, I'm a trainer, I'm a real estate, it doesn't matter. This identity that I have is going to go with me forever. As opposed to what I did do, which was I'm a football player. Well, now football's gone. Now what am I? Who am I?
That's right.
And I think a lot of us struggle with that because we're not taught this. And so, like I said, those 2 pages for me, that's going to change the way that I raise my boys. And again, yes, they're probably going to get caught up in being an athlete and being known, but I want to make sure I remind them of the skills and the talents and the identity, who they truly are, as opposed to what they do.
That's exactly right. That is not the value that you bring. The value that you bring to society, to your community, to your peers is not what you do, it's who you are, right? And that's
and you said it best, that can't be taken from you.
No.
There's not a single entity that can take that away from you.
That's right. We were in Disney last week, and one of the days while we were waiting for our plane is we went and saw a movie, and we saw the Kurt Warner, The True Underdog Story. If you haven't seen it,
see, I want to see it, but it looks a little cheesy.
It's a little cheesy, a little bit. It's like
PG-13, right? That needs to be a rated R movie.
I need a whole bunch of cussing.
Yes.
But it's a little bit. But for me, dude, and this is not me trying to compare myself to Kurt Warner, but Kurt and his wife were producers on it, so they were really involved in the story. And they did an incredible job. Is when he graduated from Northeastern Wisconsin or Northeastern Iowa State, whatever college he went to, right? There's a scene in there where he tried out for Green Bay. He got one opportunity. He said, "All right, Warner, you're in." He's like, "I just got here. I don't know the plays." And he got cut the next day. And then he goes back to his hometown, and he's dating this girl who already has 2 kids, and he's working in a grocery store, and he's literally stocking shelves, like the old story. Everybody knows he worked at a grocery store. Well, a kid walks by and is like, "Hey, Mom, that's Kurt Warner," because he knew him from college. And I guarantee you have lived through this. I have lived through this somewhere in your hometown. Someone reinforces that they know you as a football player.
Right.
And it's that shot in the ego. And, man, it brought me back to that time that I was out of ball and how hard I was really struggling because I was known as a football player, but I didn't have football.
Right.
Football was taken away from me. Yep. And I was working at a sports bar. I'm literally bussing tables. I'm literally picking up half-drinking beers, pouring it into a bucket, picking up plates, got ketchup all over my shirt. People are going in and like, "Dude, aren't you Tyler, what are you doing here?" When they go, "What are you working here for?" And it's like,
dang.
It's a shot. But that movie paints that picture so well, and they did a really good job through that. And it was not until he shifted his identity, dude. It's crazy, and how he did it. And I went through something similar at the time, and it was like he shifted, and that's when he flourished. He's like, "Look, I'm letting the ego go. I'm letting that identity go, and I'm just going to go be a good teammate. I'm going to go be a good player."
Yeah, I went through something similar that you're talking about. my first job out of college. So here I am, college degree. Thought I was going to go play professional football, and I moved furniture for the first year. I was literally, but not just moving furniture. I was a part custodian at the place. So I'm literally cleaning toilets, sweeping bathroom floors. Couldn't be further from where I thought I was going to be that year. Yeah. And that was the biggest identity hit for me. Yeah. Because again, I didn't take time to focus on the things and the aspects that could translate to something else. Yeah. I spent all my time thinking that one thing was everything at the moment, at that time. And so that's why it was super hard for me. And again, I think a lot of people go through that when they transition from one thing to the next.
And it's really hard to take really successful positive steps when your self-esteem is under attack. And when your identity is in something that is taken away or that goes away or times out or whatever, your self-esteem is under attack, and it's really hard to progress. But if you are protecting that self-esteem with saying, okay, no, that's not who I was. Like I am the person that shows up when my friends need me. I am the person that stays up late and does the things that the others aren't willing to do. That's your identity. That transition just becomes so much more seamless. Right.